Okay, so I wanted to give a more comprehensive and shorter feedback on Life's video regarding Genshin devs not caring. I have recorded this like 3 times already because in the first two are like way too long. So I'm just gonna do this for the sake of shortening it. So to quickly cover a lot of points that Life made in this video, I feel are a bit disingenuous or leading and intentionally paint a picture on China and Hoyoverse that they're this racist or this like supercharged company that's against diversity, equity, and inclusion. Not necessarily diversity in and of itself, but like the actions of DEI they might be against because that has destroyed companies' revenue and like earnings recently. Like Disney has been ruined by DEI, and um, and like Bud Light and all of these other companies like playing into these agendas and losing out big on it because they lost sight trying to appeal to everyone instead of focusing on their main audience. So to cover quickly, I don't believe that China or its players for Genshin Impact are racist. I think fundamentally Hoyoverse for Genshin Impact specifically has a design quality problem. I don't like the quality of that product. I believe the characters are poorly designed. They are too flippant and airy when it comes to their motivations and their personalities. Their personalities are way too broad that I can't get a read on the type of character they really are. First, they'll introduce a character as someone who's really serious or like strong, and then later on, like they relax and like become a completely different character, and they change their demeanor to like be all likable and stuff. And I don't like that. Personally, I like a character to stay true to who they are, not necessarily one-dimensional, but like they have a level of consistency that you can put them like, okay, so this character acts like this and I can expect this behavior from them consistently. And I think from a outfit design choice, like I think Genshin has a problem with that too. A lot of the outfits I think in Genshin are horrid and horribly designed because when I look at the outfits, I don't see how someone realistically could put some of them on consistently and comfortably. And those are my opinions on just like the quality of the game. As for this drama regarding Genshin Impact and skin color and the lack of it in Natlan and the lack of representation, it's like a nothing burger. There are more important things to worry about. There are more important subjects to cover. CN not wanting races or race-focused changes in their game is completely reasonable when all they've been asking for is gameplay and storyline quality of life updates and things of that nature, things that actually fundamentally affect the experience of the game. Calling Life and his video like very often refers to CN community or Wales or whoever like supports Genshin Impact, regardless of the idea that they should be diversity, equity, inclusion, subscribes to them that they're racist or colorist and I don't like that picture being painted. I don't know if he did that intentionally or if it was just by accident of the way he worded things, but I think a lot of this is disingenuous outlook on who these players actually are. Because from what I've observed, a lot of these players just love the characters they pull for. They're not pulling characters out of spite. Hoyoverse is actually not ignoring the issue either, which I'll get to in a second. that people are not buying and putting money into the game out of spite. They're not buying and putting money into the game because they're racist. They're buying and putting money into the game because they enjoy the product that the game is giving them. And Hoyoverse has even laid out a response which inflamed a lot of this when a user sent in a demand to Hoyoverse's feedback section. It was in reference to, why don't you guys make black or dark skinned characters? Like, you're not representing cultures correctly, etc., etc. Hoyoverse gave the most clear-cut response they could give, and that is, the game is a work of fiction. Relating it to real persons, places, or things is not recommended, as it is a work of fiction, and anything that relates to real life things is purely purely coincidental. Please, like, they were very kind about it, very considerate and straight to the point. They've been very consistent from that I've observed. I've played Genshin from its inception, and I've seen a lot of their rhetoric. Genshin has been very consistent in the way that they deliver things ever since after one point to Zhongli disaster. They've been very consistent and very on top of making sure things are worded correctly so they don't run into situations like this. When people heard that Genshin wanted to focus on bringing culture to the game, they heard that, like, they want to bring real culture into the game. No, Genshin and Hoyoverse wanted to create their own cultures within separate regions of the game to feel more immersed into the fictional world that they've created. That was always their goal, not this add dark skinned characters thing. And there are dark skinned characters in the game, whether they're bad or not, whether you like them or not. There are dark skinned characters there. And all people are asking for is dark skinned characters to be in the game in certain regions. You don't need that. You don't need to be represented at every single level. And a lot of people asking for these representations aren't even from the groups they're asking to be represented. So if the primary idea is that these characters should be added, then why? I haven't seen a legitimate reason why, because the biggest thing is pandering to diversity, equity, inclusion ideals, like sinks companies financially and alienates their main player base, because when they're focusing on DEI, they're not focusing on the core of what makes their product good, which is gameplay, story, and quality of characters. Adding diversity for the sake of diversity ruins the quality of a product, because you're not focusing on what makes the core of that product good. And it was never the identity of the characters. It was always the ideals and the experiences that the characters gave you and the stories that they told you. I really wanted to cover every single point that I've made, but in order to do that, I would need to go over it live and risk misconstruing my points. I feel like this is the best, most concise way to address everything. At the end of the day, Hoyoverse is not putting because this is the conclusion I came to last year when I stopped playing this game, is that Hoyoverse is their goal is to use Genshin as a farming machine, as a cash cow, as one of their many cash cows to fund their other projects. And then those other projects will also generate money. And then that money is something Hoyoverse or MiHoYo is putting back into their country by funding nuclear power research and moving towards a better future for their citizens, which I think is remarkable. The fact that a company that, companies normally exist for profit, but this company is chosen to take a step back and make a profit for their country as a whole by providing a service that will benefit a large majority of their citizens. And I think that companies in America should actually take a page out of Hoyoverse's or Mihoyo's book, because I don't see them doing that. All I see companies doing is existing to make profit off of you, because you'll fall for their, oh, we made something to represent you, buy our product, and then you fall for it and they make money off of you and they don't give back to your community, and then you sit here frustrated wondering like what's going on. And that's also tanking their company because they're losing their main player base. Like, there are a lot of things to like really just nail home that this is a nothing burger, that asking for diversity in a Chinese gacha game is not only pointless and irrelevant, but there are far more important things to talk about, like the literal recent attacks on democracy, the vitriolic rhetoric being used by political parties in America. And I feel like those subjects are far more important than these ridiculous ones regarding a Chinese video game. To you, Life, like, I hold nothing but respect. I just didn't want you to like have these like really polarizing opinions and like the proper things not be said in response to them, because I know not a lot of people are eloquent enough to approach a lot of things you said in the way that I feel like they need to be said, so that people understand like, oh, okay, it's like okay not to like, I'm not racist if I don't want this. We don't want to call people racist or like alienate them, or just because they don't share the same ideas as us. As you put it, attack the point, not the person. And calling people racist and subscribing all of these things to them is very much attacking the person, and I want to help you avoid that. A few other critiques about your video, like like at the beginning, the game sound and like your sound was like too close together, so sometimes it was hard to hear what you're saying on certain devices. I hear better on my computer now that I have my headphones in, but when I was like watching this video on my phone and at work, analyzing it, I couldn't really hear you that well. I'm not sure if there's anything else I missed in regards to Life's video. I hope like I covered everything with the gist. China is a homogenous country. Like, for the most part, they live with their own race, so they don't have a like frame of reference to be racist. They might, be a little standoffish, or because I don't want to say xenophobic, they might be a little standoffish and like wary of people who are different from them, which is natural. Like, if someone's unlike you and you've lived in a place with people like you all of your time, all of your life, you'll find anyone who doesn't fit that frame of like your similarity of life living strange. And I don't want to subscribe very heavy statements to people who are just operating normally. With that being said, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and comment if you have anything additional to say, and I welcome any corrections, or like if I accidentally misconstrued something, please let me know. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.